YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Welcome to my review for the latest episode of Avataro Sentai DonBrothers. And this was our official big debut for Gold's main mecha, which is a really awesome mecha, but it kind of debuted in a strange episode in a way. I just mean that in the sense that last week kind of keyed up the debut of this mech. I mean, obviously they showed it in the preview, but for Gold, you kind of had this motivation laid out of like he wants to be like the others and get a Robotaro form. I don't know why I said that so weird, Robotaro form, but he wanted to get that. So I'm like, okay, we're keying up a Gold focus episode. Maybe it'll be a little story-driven, getting to the mecha. And then the episode was about the Black Ranger, and Gold Ranger had a couple insert scenes. Like, don't get me wrong, I liked this episode overall. I thought it was a very strong and entertaining episode, but I did think it was a little strange that you had a Black Ranger focus episode with Gold Ranger feeling like the B-plot when multiple significant things happen at the end. The Black Ranger's plot revolves around the story of the week. And of course you have classic stuff going on with the triangle, you know, them all missing each other. You have Pink and his wife showing up at this like dog grave thing, like this dog shrine, and that sets up the episode like, oh, it's a dog shrine. And then you have them narrowly missing the Black Ranger. And then after their first encounter, he accidentally ruins the dog shrine, which caused him to be cursed and trapped in his dog form, where he's like kind of possessed by this curse or this dog. Probably has something to do with Japanese ghost lore, but I don't know. But he gets stuck and he can only speak in dog language, and he basically is effectively transforming into a dog throughout the episode. And it leads to some funny stuff. And there's lots of scenes of seeing the practical edges of the practical costume, like they always use. Like there's even a moment where his girlfriend or Pink's wife, both, is picking up like a doll of it. Like we get to see all these different angles of the practical suit. And he gets to encounter her, but he can't speak to her because he's only barking. And so it was kind of like a nice classic DonBrothers premise of some humorous elements, but also some character-driven stuff in regards to him and her. And then they get attacked, and she winds up passing out briefly while he tries to defend her, but then he's passed out while she fights because she wakes up with her like bestial possession form or whatever, because the bestial cop guy sees the Black Ranger and he's like, oh, he recognizes me even in this form, which maybe he somehow does because he's got the half bestial in him, but I don't think that was the case. I think he was attacking him because he's a villain, and it was just a funny coincidence that he thought he was somehow recognized as a fugitive while transformed into a chibi dog. She does her creepy little, and then she does this cool slash and fights him, and there was lots of cool moments in that, and that was like the main focus of the episode. And after he wakes up, he like forgets who he is, and then he turns into a full-on dog. And at the end of the episode, it's undone when Pink and his wife, or wife and his Pink. I mean, wife and her Pink. Yes, close enough. They fixed it so he got uncursed. Honestly, I thought that was going to lead into the next episode. I thought that that was going to somehow tie into this triangle arc, which I'll get to in a second. I want to talk about the Gold Ranger stuff first, but that was the main thing going on. And then in regards to Gold, you effectively just had two scenes or set of scenes. You had him going back to his childhood hometown to visit his friends, to sort of get inspiration after he's felt so down, and to reinvigorate himself. And he's like, oh, I'm a total hero. You know, I have a selfie. And I don't know if it's just the sub saying selfie, but I'm like, how did you take a selfie with the way that picture looks? And they're all like, I'm so sure. They're like supportive of him, but they think he's delusional. But then at the very end, before he leaves, he transforms in front of his one friend, his one girlfriend. Like, not his girlfriend, but a girl that's a friend. That's like such a junior high school way of describing it. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like wish fulfillment, you know, transforming into a hero in front of your crush. I think he likes her that way. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. He transformed in front of her before she leaves, or he leaves. God, I'm reversing everyone's roles today. I did like these scenes. They're probably the most I've liked Gold. I felt they were the most grounded he's been, the most I could sort of invest in what he's trying to do, because most of the time, I don't like him unless he's in his badass form, because he's like this annoying cartoon. And then this leads to him showing up at the end, and he actually separates himself into two beings. I don't know how that works, but he separates himself into Silver and Gold, you know what I mean. And they fight alongside each other briefly, but the reason they do that is because each of them is a mecha form. He's the Gold Dragon, the other one's the Purple Tiger, and then they transform into their mecha form. I really like the way that works. I think that's an interesting dynamic. I originally thought that, like, maybe this will happen long run, but that he was eventually going to overcome this evil form, and it would be no more, and he would just have access to the other set of powers. But I think this shows me it's going to be more long-term, which is kind of nice. It makes it interesting and gives us a break from cartoony version of him. But having the two of them fight alongside each other, I think opens up a lot of possibilities for that story. And I think it was a big moment. and the way it works with the mecha too, of like two of the same person being two different people and transforming into the mecha is cool. And I like the way that like when they're transformed, the tiger's in a cage. Like I think it kind of symbolizes that he has to keep that side of him in check. But I think it's really cool the way it works out. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, or this episode of me reviewing the show, I really love the design of the suit. I like the mecha a lot in this series, and I think this one's my favorite so far. It just looks really awesome, really badass. Not to mention, it was a really badass, memorable, acrobatic fight that I really enjoyed. And like I mentioned, end of the episode, then Black Ranger's cured, he's human again. I did like this episode. It was chock full of classic DonBrothers, cool, big moments, but also funny stuff. But I felt it was weird. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, which I feel is kind of low for how much I actually enjoyed the episode, but it did bother me that I think they queued up a perfect opportunity for a more well-rounded, gold-focused episode that would lead to this, and it felt weird that we keyed it up. Even if we didn't key it up, it felt weird that Gold's story and debut of the mecha felt like a B-plot for effectively a filler plot for the Black Ranger. In a much less extreme way, it reminded me of how in Ninja Steel and Dino Charge, you would have the A plot was like the talent show and the B plot was the plot. The thing about the Black Ranger stuff was, it was funny and there was some big stuff kind of happening where he got to interact with her and the Bestial stuff, but then when I sat back, I'm like, we didn't really move the story forward at all. Literally nothing changed. Like, we know she's creeper, she's got a Bestial inside her or something, you know? The Black Ranger and the Pink Ranger and the wife-girlfriend have a bunch of near misses and misconnections. So I'm like, there was some big stuff that happened there, but nothing changed. We're literally at the same place we were before. So that's why I'm giving it a 3 out of 5, because even though it felt like a lot happened, really nothing happened in regards to that storyline to move it forward. And it was weird to me that Gold Ranger's mecha debut felt like a B-plot in this episode. It almost felt like a classic situation where what the writers are wanting to do with the show at this point is at odds with what they have to do because of the toy release schedule. But I feel like the Black Ranger plot in this wasn't crucial enough that you couldn't have just made this a Gold Ranger focus episode and then make the next episode the Black Ranger one. I don't know. But what did you guys think of this episode and the debut of Gold's mecha? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get the notifications from my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.